So last Saturday, my friends here and I, just my friends right there, yeah, my friends and I were watching a show called Boy Erased. So Boy Erased is a film that was based on the memoir of a man called Gerard Conley. Gerard Conley had to go through conversion therapy because of his sexuality. While there were no physical torture involved, he was under a lot of mental pressure. Gerard was, for example, supposed to blame his parents or even his family, like family tree, for who he is. He was not supposed to tell anyone outside camp what happened. Gerard was made to feel alone and guilty for something that he has no control over. At the peak of the film, right when the emotional tension was at its highest, my friend, also there, suddenly let out a scream. He shouted a vulgarity so loudly, one that I cannot repeat right now. He shouted so loudly the room just jumped. He was so triggered by the unfairness of it all. And it was in this moment where I caught myself wanting to say, it is just a story. But it's not just a story, isn't it? Gerard's story is the experience of thousands of LGBT individuals who had to go through conversion therapy at one point of their life because of standards that the society has decided for them. And isn't that often the case? Someone else deciding what's best for everyone else? Last year, 2,342 children were separated at the US-Mexico border between May to June 2018. You can fact check that. And these children, that's the danger of statistic. From outside, you look at them as just numbers, 2,342. But when you listen to their story, when you imagine being separated from your family, they're not just numbers anymore. They become our truth. As the narrative started between friends, we wanted to highlight the importance of having honest conversation, giving voice to the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. We make couples ask each other, why do you love me again? We made a Muslim ask an ex-Muslim, why did you leave the faith? For our race conversation, we made an Eurasian ask a Chinese, what makes you Chinese? And I've always admired our participants. They come on set not knowing what the questions are, so all their answers and all their reactions are just pure, authentic experiences. And these questions are in no way easy. We sat down and we crafted them in such a way that it is used to practice empathy. And basically, it is used to drive out the most vulnerable of the human experience. Essentially answering the question, how would you tell your story of suffering? Eventually, these stories begin to resonate with things that are larger than them, larger than just personal anecdotes. For example, we had a friend who sat across her father, whom she has not spoken to for almost 20 years ever since the divorce. Her father then asked her this question, would things have been different if I was not there? Would things have been different if I was there? Her tears were her only answer. But her tears were not just her own. Her tears were also the tears of every child who was separated from their family, all 2,342 and counting. If there is one takeaway from this talk, I want you to know that the truth is uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable because it is the truth. The truth is an after effects of systems, of prejudices, of inequalities that a person faces in their life. And oftentimes, it is because of these unfairness that a person becomes a statistic of people who falls through the crack. The truth is, we can no longer simply be defined by our successes alone, by our GDP growth, by the grades we receive in school, or by the humble brag that people often do when they describe their professional achievements. The truth is, in order to become a better society, one of moral conscience and dexterity, we must also include the story of our vulnerabilities too. So the next time, if you ever feel alone or you see something that pains you, I want you to know that you deserve every kindness and every empathy that you put out to the world. You are not alone in this. And if ever you find yourself getting the question, the world is unfair, what? Continue on by saying that the world is unfair, but how are we making it better? I leave you the courage to tell your truth now. My question to you is, how would you value the uncomfortable? Thank you.